adverse conditions. We were just recovering, and before the end of this trauma, the Ukraine-Russia war is again a death blow on our operations. Logistics has been disrupted, and also the industry suffered. Industry and commerce is affected adversely. These adverse conditions have rekindled the fighting spirit of entrepreneurs, and I am proud to note that the World Bank, ADB, IMF projections, they say that India to remain the fastest growing major economy in the world between 2021 and 24. So this is a wonderful news for us, and this is only happened because of the fighting spirit of entrepreneurs across India. And in Telangana, we are doing extremely well and registered higher growth than the national average even during these critical years. My appreciation and thanks to everyone who ensured these things. Sir, it is not out of the context to mention that your charisma and dynamism and proactiveness has brought a lot of laurels to the state, and your recent visits to US, UK, Davos, France were testimony to this, and we congratulate Honorable Minister and also our Principal Secretary and their team, which has brought laurels to the state. And these efforts have brought enormous investments into the country, and you name it, whatever marquee investor is there in this thing, we all feel very proud of these achievements. And recently we happened to go to T-Hub on the inauguration. What a iconic building, like I don't see anywhere in the world that kind of a wonderful facility. You just go to 5th floor and just go around, and we feel that we are out of the world, and this is the best city in the world. That kind of atmosphere is generated in that. And my friends, whoever coming from outside, will always say that every visit they see more and more infrastructure upgrading in Hyderabad. So all these make us proud. Sir, I must mention one thing here, sir. So any VIP coming to the state, whether he is from the foreign country or is a businessman or from other states or even from centers and some minister or any politician, they just can't resist but praise the Telangana for their progress. In some cases, even with adverse political conditions, central people who are coming, if they are unable to say in public, even in private conversations, they agree that, yes, your state is being progresses and proud of it, and congratulations, sir. So we, in the same way at FTCCI also, we are aligning all our activities for fast changing needs of the industry and trade and continuously striving to fulfill the requirements, sir. And we are a regional chamber and we are proud of it, and our interest is Telangana, and our entire activity is in Telangana, either developing the industrial ecosystem or connecting with the districts or improving the rural livelihoods and creating employment in the state of Telangana. We are purely regional chamber, unlike our national colleagues, and we also get same. Recently, last 2 years, we made a lot of effort in making our organization more professional, more proactive, and we are reaching out to every nook and corner of the state. And many friends from the other Chamber of Commerce and also from the embassies, consulates who visit Hyderabad and who visit our chamber, compare our chamber with all other state chambers, and they recognize as that this is one of the professionally run best dynamic chambers, FTCCI. So that again gives, in that sense, we are following you as a state government, and we will be always there behind you in terms of pacing up with all your activities, sir. Being the state level federation of industry and trade, we are more focused towards MSME, sir. For larger industries, anyway, your team is there and will take care. And large industries doesn't need much. Though we have almost 200 members, corporates are our members, we look forward towards them to give knowledge and to give, they function through various committees, and they give a lot of sectorial knowledge to us. And to mention that your charisma and dynamism and proactiveness has brought a lot of laurels to the state, and your recent visits to US, UK, Davos, France were testimony to this. The chamber presidents and chamber representatives are there from Nizamabad, Karimnagar, Khammam, Nalgonda and Vikarabad, and many more to come. And this year we made a point to, I personally went to various districts along with my team. We did interact with them and we understood what are all their issues and addressed them. And recently we partnered with 2-3 organizations. So Ministry of Commerce Export-Import Program, they have given permission for 3 programs. One we are doing in Nizamabad, one at Warangal and one at Hyderabad. Similarly, Ministry of MSME, our Chandrasekhar sir is here and he is outrightly supporting our programs, and we are giving 3 more programs in the rural and 1 exhibition here. And our Pokarna Skill Center, which is working wonders, and we did exim course and logistic course. Sir, hundreds of students, you just saw the film, hundreds of students are getting trained. We are reskilling and upskilling those people. And we partnered with Indo-German Initiative for Technical Education to impart knowledge, and we adopted 14 government ITIs of Telangana, and one of our MC member will be chairing that, and we are connecting the partnership between ITI students and the industry. So these are some of the initiatives we are taking forward to make the industry ecosystem of Telangana very vibrant. We do welcome big investors into the state and happy that Telangana, particularly Hyderabad, is gaining prominence in the world. But in any country, sir, MSME is the backbone, and we need to support MSME outrightly to create more and more employment, sir. So to that extent, we have just initiated a program for B-Hub. So wherein rural entrepreneurs, this is mainly on manufacturing sector, sir. We are selecting, our startup unit is also functioning with a committee, and we requested APIIC for allotting some place so that we can set up a small ecosystem wherein we can train the young entrepreneurs, not like in the technology space, but in a manufacturing space. And to that extent, we requested APIIC, and sir is also approached. They are considering our application. And another thing, we have partnered recently with Amazon and also in talks with Flipkart and Tata New. And these partnerships are to bringing on board small, medium, micro entrepreneurs on board to sell their products through these e-commerce platforms. So all these activities are towards strengthening the industrial ecosystem in the state, sir. Sir, I have few suggestions to make. Since we are the chamber and we need to protect the interest of our members, there are only 4 points I would like to, straight points I'd like to make and request your intervention. And these are the suggestions and appeal. And first one is, sir, ease of doing business, we are number 1, and we are getting maximum attention, and you take any rank, we are on the top 3, 4 in last 4, 5 years. But slowly we are slipping down on cost of doing business, sir. So this is one worrisome factor. So to that extent, like it may be because of raw material cost, it may be because of power cost or employee cost or compliance cost or maybe logistic cost. There are reasons are many, but slowly after one nation, one tax, the state boundaries have wiped out. Now whoever does the cost-effective production, there only will be able to survive. So in this sense, our suggestion is to set up a small committee under the aegis of either commissioner or secretary and study, benchmark the costs of other competitive states. So I'll give one small example, sir. There is a property tax we are paying, but all industries now started trade license, trade tax. Trade license in other Tamil Nadu, there is no trade lines for industry. And Hyderabad, like we have a lot of industrial areas around it, and the old industries having 1 acre, 2 acre lands. So in the sheds, whatever they are operating, are being charged trade license based on the square feet basis, sir. Now already we are paying property tax on square feet basis, and for industries again a double taxation on square feet basis for trade license. Trade license is just to do the trade, and for earlier it's a small shops and all that, it used to collect 3,000, 5,000 like that. So these are the some of the small things, but what our suggestion is, just set up a small committee, sir, headed by, if we give suggestions, it is skewed towards industry. We want, under your guidance, department can take it up, and we'll benchmark costs, and wherever we can do our suggestions, as a group will come out, and this will definitely help in tweaking the policy wherever required, and it help us business environment in the state, definitely, and we will be in forefront in making the progress, sir. And the second suggestion, sir, so this district industry center is one of the hub, and our entire growth of Telangana state is skewed towards Hyderabad and surrounding districts. Between three districts, Hyderabad, Rangareddy and Medchal Malkajgiri, 48% of GSDP is there, gross domestic district product. So entire 50% is concentrated in this. If we tap other 30 districts and make them come into the main fold, the industrial growth in Telangana will be much aggressive, much faster. So to this extent, what we suggest to strengthen DICs by setting up a small help desk, or the other thing is market access information, or maybe some entrepreneur development programs. The local associations and local industries can become a partner. Sir, right now there is a DIPC is there, District Investment Promotion Council, headed by collector, but that is only up to sanctioning the permissions and giving those SOPs and all that ending. But let us take a proactive step and let us make the entrepreneurs, borderline entrepreneurs, come into the main fold, handhold them and give them some kind of a push. Definitely rural industries will excel, and we would like to partner all those 30-odd district chamber of commerce, and if you permit, we'll organize one meeting with, there are 100 associations across the Telangana, sir, rural Telangana. So we'll call them, and if you preside over that function, and it will be a lot of motivating to all the entrepreneurs and the rural industrial folks. So this is the second suggestion, sir. And third one, FTCCI is represented for industrial promotion budget, sir. Like every year, this year we asked for 3,000 crores, but government and finance ministry considered 2,500 as this is a welcome sign, and we thank government for giving these 2,500 crores. But the incentives are still not released, sir. It is every quarter some incentives need to be released, and we always keep pressurizing Krishna Bhaskar sir and Jayesh Ranjan sir. And we as an industry association get lot of pressure from our members. You are not doing your bit and all that. We know the sensitivities and we know the compulsions of government. It need to take care a lot of welfare activities. But whatever are 4 quarters, if whatever funds are released, it will be a great help, sir. And one small request on this, sir, whatever released, either 100, 200 crores each quarter, please allot 50% to the MSME, sir. With one major industry SOPs, you can cover almost 100 MSMEs. So backlogs are there, and I don't want to put a lot of pressure, but based on the convenience, kindly expedite these things. And the last one, I would like to share my experience, sir. This is in November 2021, last year, there was a World Expo at Dubai, and there was India Pavilion. 200 countries participated, and India Pavilion was one of the decent or one of the best pavilion, and each state from the India participated in that. And as Telangana government participated between November 7th to 14th. And Telangana government headed by APIIC MD Narasimha Reddy Garu, and we from FTCCI joined with a 20-member delegation. We went all the places, promoted Telangana as much as possible, met so many people, and one such stop is Dubai Chamber of Commerce. And Mr. Omar Khan was the director, and Dubai Chamber of Commerce, the infrastructure is just amazing. It is better than 100 countries' embassies. That kind of infrastructure is there. And after all discussions, as a matter of pride, I presented Telangana government's entire activity, and also FTCCI as a 100-year-old organization with 30,000 members, and I just want to put him down and asked, what is your membership? Thinking that he must be around 10,000, because UAE population is only 1 crore. He said 2,70,000 is their membership, sir. And with 1 crore population and UAE 2,70,000 membership, we were astonished and asked him how was it possible. He said, by law at Dubai, UAE, all the firms registering in this country has to mandated to become a member of Chamber of Commerce. That's how the strength is there. This Why he also said that our government machinery is confined to giving the licenses, giving the statutory things and taking their care of those issues, but such a large data government will not be able to manage. That's why they have given mandate. Every year we update the data, collect in one sheet about their sales, their turnover, their employee base and their sectoral progress, and we provide government as a backup. So that's how they have up to date. So after looking at, I was discussing with all the government officials, sir, and I don't know whether it is possible or not. Even in Telangana, if you could think of, you as a department, you can recognize some 20, 25 major associations. So who are, I think you can vet them and their infrastructure, and these associations can be given to collect the data of all these things and make the member, each of the industry who are making member, becoming member of any chamber will provide the information. This information will help government. The data will be there and we can track the progress, employment, sectorial information. All these things excellently help our government to function. So these are the 4 suggestions I'll make on behalf of you. Sir, on behalf of Telangana Federation of Chamber and Commerce, thank you once again for gracing the occasion and presenting these awards to the winners. And on behalf of industry fraternity, I assure you our full support to you and strengthening the continued growth of our state. And once again, I welcome each one of you to this Excellence Awards, and thank you very much for being present here.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable thoughts with us here today. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, to shed light on FTCCI Excellence Awards, I now request Shri Gaurav Srinivas, Chair FTCCI Excellence Awards Committee, to kindly please step forward and share with us all the valuable insights.
Good evening to all. Our warm greetings from Federation of Telangana Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Shri KTR Garu, Honorable Minister for Industries, IT, Electronics, Communications, Municipal Administration and Urban Development, Government of Telangana. Shri Jayesh Ranjan, IAS, Principal Secretary, Industries and Commerce, IT, Electronics and Communications to Government of India. My colleagues on the dais, Managing Committee members, past presidents of Telangana Chambers of Commerce and Industry, jury members and members of Excellence Awards Committee, award winners, distinguished guests, members of FTCCI, press, media, ladies, gentlemen, invitees, and dear friends. I thank you very much for having attended this. I am happy and it is a privilege for me to welcome once again all the chief guests, K.T. Ramarao Garu and Jayesh Ranjan Garu. Sir, your presence itself is really giving enormous energy to all of us. I should mention here, there was a little uncertainties about the program, but he said, go ahead. That is the affection which he has for Federation to this. I think now you can put your hands together, applaud his appreciation. Thank you very much, sir. As an apex body for industry and trade, Federation of Telangana Chambers of Commerce and Industry has initiated several awards for recognizing outstanding contributions, achievements for select area of promote corporate industrial initiatives in economic and social areas. Awards are given for works or operations in the state of Telangana. The awards are being given in recognition of proven excellence, outstanding contribution in the areas of industry, innovation, research and development, and associate and chambers, individual achievements, that is women entrepreneurs, science, engineering, outstanding self-sustaining efforts by differently abled persons, social welfare, differently abled services, also aerospace and defense. FTCCI has received 150 nominations for the above segments, and I tell you friends, and also to the chief guest minister also, and also to principal secretary, this is pertaining to 2020-21, which is 50% to 60% of the tenure was in pandemic. We are all suffering, and many people have lost their kith and kin, we are all suffering. In spite of this, and so many awards, so many industries are flourishing well in Telangana, means God is very kind to us, and I think He has sent a different version where He has not troubled us so much, and mostly our state is predominantly in pharma, vaccines, and also packing polymers industry, and they have given a blanket permission for all those things to operate in full swing. I think that is the result. Today we have got this kind of performance from the industry. That's what we in Federation we all appreciate. We had a little hesitant to have this period as an award for awards, but still after observing this, I think we are really lucky. Then we have got a real good performers, and getting 150 nominations who are all excelled in their business and industry is a great. And such recognitions response for awards depicts great importance for Federation's Excellence Awards. The Federation has exclusive awards committee consisting of experts drawn from various fields of select awards. I would like to mention here Honorable Justice Retired V. Bhaskar Rao Garu, Honorable Justice Govindarajulu, Honorable Justice Challa Kodandaram, and Dr. M. Gopal Krishna, IAS retired, Ajay Mishra, IAS, and Surendra Kumar, former Director, Senior Scientist, ARDE and DRO. We are co-opted these jury members in order to help us to try to precisely give the awards who are all excellent performers. I take this opportunity to take all the members of Excellence Awards Committee of the Federation taking up the responsibility to their expertise on select areas and best entries of various awards. I am also happy to inform that Federation will bring out a copy of the coffee table book giving write-ups on award winners and their performance, focus on other outstanding achievements, future plans, and message for society. This book would be permanent treasure for outstanding achievement, which can be shared to all their business partners now and futures. I congratulate and commend all the award winners for their relentless effort in achieving significant mileage in their success. Winning award, indeed remarkable feat. I push to achieve much more greater heights in future. Friends, we are very lucky to have Industries Minister and Principal Secretary, this kind of personalities which are brand ambassadors. I took Minister's permission also to say this. The way he is chasing the investors and bringing them to Telangana is great. I tell you, few of my friends in other states are telling they are envious about the minister. The way he is trying to persuade, almost chasing them, the way he is chasing them is they themselves are surprised. Investors surprised. Till date, 74, 75 years of independence, no minister has followed them so much by sending chartered flights, repeatedly going to them, calling them. And there is one case, the call came from Delhi. Within 3 hours, when he was in districts also, he came immediately to Hyderabad and he flew to Delhi and they could able to brag the business. I think we have to appreciate his efforts. See, we can't give him anything except our good wishes, our claps, appreciations, nothing is there. He is contributing so much to the industry in Telangana. And with this, our overall development, our standard of living, everything will go up. I think this in Hyderabad is the only place land prices are soaring so high, and other real estate people are trying to tell us, Hyderabad, what is happening? Kya ho raha bhai? This is the way they are talking us. I am really happy. I am really proud that our minister is with us to bless us all with these words. I once again welcome you all and thank KT Ramarao Garu and also Jayashankar Garu for their encouragement and valued presence in the Thompson show. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your thoughts with us here today. Ladies and gentlemen, FTCCI in its own mandate has taken the initiative to promote green plantation through presentation of green certificates. Green certificates represent the environmental value by reducing climate change, and it promotes the idea of renewable energy source to support the philosophy of ecological living. So we'd like to felicitate the esteemed jury by presenting green certificates, for which I request our Chief Guest, Honorable Minister, and our Guest of Honor, Principal Secretary, kindly please step forward to do the honors in presenting these green certificates. Yes, I request our Chief Guest, Honorable Minister, to please step forward, and our Guest of Honor, Principal Secretary, IAS, Shri Jayesh Ranjan Garu, to kindly please step forward. I request our dignitaries to please join in, yes, as we felicitate our esteemed jury by presenting these green certificates. I would invite Shri Ajay Mishra, IAS, retired, to kindly please step forward to receive the felicitation. Dr. Surendra Kumar, former Director and Senior Scientist, ARDE-DRO. The copies of the citations are in Naidu, Managing Director, Agritech Limited, for excellence in agro-based industry. Shri G.V.K.
investors, some prospective investors. So, and most of the times when we talk to a new investor or a potential investor, we always encourage them to talk to our existing investors, because while we can say all kinds of things, what is actually happening on the ground will be best reflected by the existing people. And our Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable Minister, they keep on telling us that more than anything else, you can advertise, you can publicize, you can print glossy booklets, brochures, but the existing industries will be your biggest brand ambassadors. And I feel so happy and so proud that everyone who comes from outside and talks to our existing players, they get doubly assured about the positive policies of the state, the good quality infrastructure, the supporting government. The best example was during the COVID period. In fact, just now someone was telling me that despite the pandemic, our industrial performance did not stop at all. Actually, it has grown much more than the previous year as well. So my compliments to all of you for keeping the reputation of the state intact, for actually enhancing our reputation and becoming very good, very positive role models and brand ambassadors for us. I would also like to congratulate Mr. Bhaskar Reddy and his team. I know that his tenure will end very shortly, but he has done a great job, particularly during his tenure. I noticed this, that lots of focus was given on industries which are into exports. Lots of discussions happened with all of us on how we improve the export competitiveness of Telangana, what kind of support is required from various government bodies, including Government of India agencies. During his tenure, lots of international partnerships were also forged, and I do hope that the incoming committee will build on all these good initiatives. One thing which I forgot, but I must mention it, during his tenure, a course on EXIM, on export-import activities, was also started, which helps now the state in generating a good amount of talent and manpower to support the export-oriented unit. So as I said, I do hope that the new committee also will build on all these good initiatives, and they will add their own new ideas and new thoughts in collaborating with the government. So once again, warm wishes and greetings to all the award winners, and thank you very much for inviting me for this function.
Thank you so much, Shri Jayesh Ranjan, for talking to all of us and sharing your valuable inputs with us here today. And thank you for the outstanding wealth of knowledge shared with us here on this platform. FTCCI has truly empowered business and proved to be enablers of commerce for over 100 years. It has become an important forum for interaction between government and business and industry in a global perspective. We thank Government of Telangana for its unwavering support. I now request our Chief Guest, Honorable Minister for Industries, Municipal Administration, Urban Development, Information Technology, Electronics and Communication, Government of Telangana, Shri KT Ramarao, to kindly please step forward and address the grandiose congregation.
Good evening. Andariki Namaskaram. Honorable President of the FTCCI, Bhaskar Reddy Garu, Gauranilu Gaura Srinivas Garu, Gauranilu Senior Vice President Anil Agarwal Garu, Gauranilu Vice President Mila Jayadev Garu, Gauranilu Khyati Garu, Veena Garu, my Principal Secretary of Industry, Commerce and IT, Shri Jayesh Ranjan Garu, to all the winners of the FTCCI Excellence Awards, and to the respected members of the jury, to the friends from media, both electronic and print, and to all the dignitaries gathered here. I congratulate all of you and I compliment all of you on taking the time out and attending this prestigious event, and thank you for having me. Gauranilu Bhaskar Reddy Garu, he had touched upon many things. I think firstly I'd like to respond to a few of them. Bhaskar Reddy Garu had mentioned about how Telangana is viewed as a state which excels in ease of doing business, but we also need to look at few other facets to continue to remain competitive, to ensure that our industry continues to grow, continues to thrive, and continues to compete the best in the country. Before I respond to that, I would quickly like to, take you back to a few years ago. When the state of Telangana was about to be formed in June 2014, I would urge you all to think of the then situation with respect to the industry back in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Back then in 2014, I remember very vividly, the very SMEs that Mr. Bhaskar Reddy had mentioned were having a really tough time in the state of Andhra Pradesh. In fact, there were 3 days of power holidays in a week, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. The situation was bad. Normally, we see politicians and political parties doing hartals at Indira Park, at Dharna Chowk. But there was a time in 2012 and 13 when the industry itself also had to do a dharna and hartal, demanding that power be given, bijli be given, even if it means, at a higher cost. We are willing to pay, but please provide us quality power, was the demand of the industry. But if you look at it now, I think Telangana is by far the only state in the country which was able to provide you 24 hours of quality power supply even in the peak of summer in the last couple of years, especially even in the middle of the pandemic. More importantly, if you look at it, not only for industry, but also for domestic sector, and also free power, 24 hours of free power to the farming sector, that makes Telangana very, very unique and very, very ambitious also, if you ask me, because in per capita consumption of power, we're right up there. Number 1 in the country in terms of per capita consumption of power. Let me also point out to another thing. Back in 2014, I keep saying this, there were lots of doubts, apprehensions कि क्या होगा तेलंगाना में, क्या होगा हैदराबाद में, इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन कैसे आगे बढ़ेगा कि पीछे जाएगा, will there be flight of capital? A lot of people were hypothesizing कि यहाँ से capital कहीं और चला जाएगा क्योंकि यहाँ बिजली नहीं है और पता नहीं ये गवर्नमेंट कैसे चलाएंगे, etc., etc. But today I am proud to share with you, happy to share with you, when I hear Mr. Bhaskar Reddy speak, when I hear Mr. Gaura Srinivas speak in such glowing terms about the government, about industries department, only one man needs to be credited for that, and that is our Honorable Chief Minister, Shri KTR Garu. But for his tenacious efforts, but for his resoluteness, but for his ability to keep all of us on the toes, I don't think the state of Telangana would have been taken as seriously as it is. Today, wherever I go in the world, wherever I go in India, जब भी नाम लिया जाता है इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन सेक्टर में कि प्रोग्रेसिव स्टेट्स कहाँ पे है हिंदुस्तान में, तो बहुत गर्व महसूस होती है, बहुत फख्र महसूस होती है इस बात का कि तेलंगाना के गिनती के बगैर टॉप 3, टॉप 5 में कोई लिस्ट ऐसा नहीं है आज हिंदुस्तान में, especially when it comes to ease of doing business, which does not include the state of Telangana. So I think it's a matter of great pride, great happiness and great pleasure for all of us. पहले नाम लिया जाता था कि गुजरात है, महाराष्ट्र है, कर्नाटक है, तमिलनाडु है. These were traditionally considered the manufacturing states, traditionally considered the states which know how to engage with businesses on a world stage and possibly do their best. But today, wherever I go, हम लोग रहे या ना रहे वहाँ पे, हमारे मौजूदगी में नहीं, बल्कि even when we are not around, the state of Telangana is mentioned with respect, it is mentioned with great deal of affection, and we are talked about everywhere in the world. In fact, I keep telling a lot of overseas investors, जब भी हम बाहर जाते हैं, US, UK या कहीं भी दुनिया में, हम बस यही बताते हैं कि आप बहुत ओवर सिंप्लीफाइड कंपैरिजन करते हो. यू ऑलवेज मेक दिस ओवर सिंप्लीफाइड कंपैरिजन ऑफ इंडिया एंड चाइना. लॉट ऑफ ओवरसीज इन्वेस्टर्स डू दैट. लॉट ऑफ पीपल थिंक इंडिया एंड चाइना सिमिलर साइज इन टर्म्स ऑफ पॉपुलेशन और लॉट ऑफ अदर सिमिलैरिटीज इज वेल. सो देयरफॉर जैसे कि चाइना में बिजनेस ऐसे होता है तो इंडिया में ऐसे क्यों नहीं होता है. आई ओनली टेल देम वन थिंग. I tell them China is a very homogeneous country, but India is not. India is a very diverse nation. India is a very heterogeneous entity. India is a country where everything changes every 150, 200 kilometers. The language, the dialect, the cuisine, the culture, the eating habits, the way you do business. In fact, I tell lots of these overseas investors that India is more like Europe. It's not a unitary entity like China. It's very diverse. I keep giving the example of Jayesh and myself. I keep telling them that Jayesh bhi Indian hai, main bhi Indian hu. But the language Jayesh speaks at home, the native language, versus the language I speak at home, are as different from each other. Hindi and Telugu, possibly as different as English and French. इतना फर्क है. और मैं जब कहता हूं दुनिया से कि हमारे हिंदुस्तान में 22 ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेजेस हैं और 300 से ज़्यादा अनऑफिशियल लैंग्वेजेस हैं और इतनी डाइवर्स हमारी नेशन है, लोग ताजुब हो जाते हैं, लोग परेशान हो जाते हैं कि वाओ, दिस इज, वी डिडंट नो इट वाज सो डाइवर्स. द पॉइंट आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक इज, आई कीप टेलिंग माय ओवरसीज इन्वेस्टर्स कि योर एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ इंडिया will hinge on the gateway you choose to enter India through. Please do not think of India as New Delhi or Bombay. India बहुत बड़ी है और India बहुत डाइवर्स है. अगर आप ये मान के चलो कि अगर आप डिसाइड करते हो कि बिहार से या उत्तर प्रदेश से मैं अपना इंडिया में एंट्री करूं, तो आपका बहुत अलग एक्सपीरियंस रहेगा. अगर आप ये डिसाइड करते हो कि तेलंगाना से एंटर करो, तो बहुत ही अलग एक्सपीरियंस रहेगा. ये मैं बहुत बार बोलते रहता हूं. एंड द रीजन व्हाई आई से दिस वेरी कॉन्फिडेंटली इज बिकॉज ऑफ द एम्पावरमेंट led by our, that is being given to my department and to this government by our Honorable Chief Minister. He gave us TSI Pass, which allows me to tell every investor all over the world कि आपके सारे clearances मैं 15 दिन में दे दूंगा, वरना 16वां दिन on the 16th day, it's a deemed approval and backed by statute. No state in the country will tell you this. It gives me the ability to tell any investor across the world कि self certification हमारे यहाँ है. जैसे किसी को राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन दिया जाता है, जैसे किसी को राइट टू एजुकेशन दिया जाता है, हमने हमारे इन्वेस्टर को यहां पे राइट टू सेल्फ सर्टिफिकेशन दिया है कि कोई भी इन्वेस्टर अपने आप को सेल्फ सर्टिफाई कर सकते हैं कि आई एम इन कंप्लायंस विद द लॉ ऑफ द लैंड एंड आई विल स्टार्ट माई एंटरप्राइज ऑन day 1 without seeking any clearance from the government. No state in India will tell you this. What you see is what you get. So this is the statutory backing. This is what empowerment truly means in terms of legislative backing, and that has been done by our Honorable Chief Minister. Ease of doing business की rankings जब से निकली हैं इंडिया में, भारत सरकार और वर्ल्ड बैंक जो मिलके देती हैं, Telangana has always been on the top, except for one time where we were slightly lower. And even yesterday, day before when they released it, we are now one among the top performers in the country. मुझे तो ये शक है कि हम लोग नंबर 1 पे थे, वो कहना नहीं चाह रहे थे, इसलिए उन्होंने 4-5 राज्य और जोड़ दिए हमारे साथ और बोले कि आप सबके साथ क्लब में हो. उसमें गुजरात भी है, वो अलग बात है, मैं ज़्यादा नहीं बोलूँगा उसके बारे में. मैं बस इतना ही कहूँगा, एक चीज़ तो ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस है, ईज ऑफ एंट्री है, बट उससे भी ज़्यादा अहमियत रखने वाली चीज़, उससे भी ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है पीस ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस. कि गवर्नमेंट की दखल अंदाजी, गवर्नमेंट की इंटरफियरेंस जितना कम हो उतना ही अच्छा है. जब हम लोग बना रहे थे TSI पास पॉलिसी, तो हमने तय किया कि इससे पहले जो रेगुलर इंस्पेक्शन होते थे फैक्ट्रीज डिपार्टमेंट के, लेबर डिपार्टमेंट के, बॉयलर्स डिपार्टमेंट के और कई सारे और डिपार्टमेंट, पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड के और कई सारे अलग अलग डिपार्टमेंट के, हमने उन सारे चीज़ों को जोड़ दिया. हमने कहा कि अगर आप कर रहे हो इंस्पेक्शन तो साथ ही करो. एक बार एक डिपार्टमेंट जाएगा, एक टीम जाएगा, फिर वो इन्वेस्टर को बार बार इंस्पेक्ट करोगे आप, ये अच्छी बात नहीं है. तो वी हैव मेड दैट वन प्रोविजन. ऑल्सो वी हैव इंक्रीज्ड द नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स यू हैव टू रिन्यू योर लाइसेंसेस. पहले 1 साल या 2 साल में था, डिफरेंट डिपेंडिंग ऑन द कैटेगरी ऑफ बिजनेस यू आर इन. वी हैव इंक्रीज दैट टाइम विंडो ऑल्सो. बट मोर इंपॉर्टेंटली पिछले 8 साल में मैं बहुत गर्व के साथ कह सकता हूं, तेलंगाना में कहीं भी एक जगह भी कोई यूनियन की तरफ से या कोई इंडस्ट्री की तरफ से कहीं भी क्लैश या लॉकआउट करना जरूरी नहीं पड़ा, कहीं भी जरूर उसकी जरूरत नहीं पड़ी। तो बहुत बड़ी बात है। हम देखते हैं वेस्ट्रॉन करके एक फैक्ट्री है बैंगलोर में, उसमें आग लग जाती है क्योंकि वो मैनेजमेंट और वर्कर्स के बीच में थोड़ा दरार था, फ्रिक्शन था, could not be contained, and then it led to an situation where 300 plus crores of valuable goods were lost. It's not just about loss of money or loss of some enterprise value. It's about loss of face. It's about a foreign investor going through that rough period where he is not sure or she is not sure कि क्या हो रहा है. We see lockdowns and lockouts elsewhere in the country also. I don't want to name names, but आज भी मैं ये भी गर्व से कहता हूं, आज भी अगर आप देखेंगे पिछले समर में गुजरात में भी पावर कट थे, गुजरात में भी इंडस्ट्री को पावर हॉलिडे दिया गया, बट तेलंगाना में हमने नहीं दिया. बहुत गर्व के साथ एक बात कहना चाहता हूं मैं. So that is what Telangana has done in a very, very short span of time. We have made sure that we gave you the basic infrastructure, the peace of mind of doing business, and अगर आप 3 shift भी चलाना चाहते हो business, तो आप चला सकते हो. That sort of a thing. And government really has not poked its nose where it does not belong. हमने इन 8 सालों में, मैं यहाँ मंच पे खड़े होके सबके सामने with a lot of confidence I can say this, we have not harassed any investor, we have not fleeced any investor, we have not indulged in any corrupt practices in the last 8 years. No government official or minister must have harassed you in the last 8 years. That is Telangana for you. Now, peace of doing business is important because as an investor, when you have put in a lot of resources and effort, the one thing you want is that government should become an enabler. Government should support you in whatever you do in terms of wealth creation. Because एक बात से दुख होता है. Wealth creators and entrepreneurs in India are not respected. Entrepreneur, in fact, बहुत सारे मेरे दोस्त ऐसे हैं जो लोग कहते हैं कि entrepreneur बनना इंडिया में एक तरह से एक शाप है, क्योंकि हर कोई आपको शेख के नजर से देखता है. अगर आप एक कैपिटलिस्ट कंट्री जैसा अगर यूएस है, वहां पे every wealth creator is celebrated. If somebody becomes a successful story overnight or over a period of within a short span, they are celebrated, they are looked up to. In fact, their stories are talked about. But in India, अगर कोई कम वक्त में entrepreneur बन जाता है और कुछ हासिल करता है, पहली बात तो उसके बारे में शेक के नजरिए आप पीपल स्टार्ट डाउटिंग यू कि क्या किया है इन्होंने, कौन सी शॉर्टकट इन्होंने पकड़ ली, इनके पीछे कौन है, ये सब कुछ चलता है. तो इसीलिए जो आप काम करते हो, इन स्पाइट ऑफ ऑल दीज चैलेंजेस, आई कॉम्प्लीमेंट ऑल ऑफ यू, स्पेशली all of you who have come here. I compliment all of you. I think you deserve a big round of applause, because no matter what I say, the fact is you guys create way too much more employment than all governments combined in India, state governments and central governments, because government by themselves can only create so much employment directly. We can be enablers, we can give you an environment where you can thrive, which is conducive for you to grow, which is conducive for you to compete on a global scale. Not only peace of doing business, quality of doing business is also equally important. तो अगर आप कोई इंडस्ट्रियल पार्क है जहां आपकी यूनिट है, वहां की क्या इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, वहां के रोड्स कैसे हैं, वहां की पावर की सिचुएशन क्या है, वहां की पीने की पानी की हालत क्या है, वहां की सीवरेज ट्रीटमेंट कैसे चल रही है, ये भी बहुत मैटर करता है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. क्योंकि आज आपके कोलैबोरेटर्स बहुत सारे लोग दुनिया के कोने कोने से आते हैं. People come from all over the world. Today's business is not confined to India. You have service agreements with various people across the world. So when your overseas partners are coming to visit your unit, you have to spruce up. जैसे हम लोग कोई मेहमान आ रहा है हमारे घर, तो थोड़ा साफ कर लेते हैं, थोड़ा साफ सुथरा रखते हैं. तो वैसे ही I think between Jayesh, me and FTCCI and all of you, we also have to ensure that the quality of doing business also is improved. I know we have a lot of ground to cover on that front. I'm not blind. I know कि बहुत काम बाकी है, करेंगे जरूर. साथ ही साथ जो भास्कर रेड्डी जी ने कहा, cost of doing business is also important. We have to ensure that the cost of doing business doesn't become so high that we go, we don't remain competitive across the different states in India. I request FTCCI to work with government, tell us and guide us कि हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं to remain competitive, to remain better than our competition. मैं बस 4 राज्यों को seriously हमारे competitor मानता हूँ. महाराष्ट्र, कर्नाटक, तमिलनाडु and Gujarat. These are the 4 states we actually compete with. बाकी हैं, but they're not so progressive in terms of industrialization. So my request to you, let's benchmark ourselves against these 4 states कि उनकी पावर की तारीफ क्या है, हमारी क्या है, ओवरऑल क्वालिटी ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस में उनका क्या हाल है, क्यूमुलेटिवली हम कहाँ पे हैं, कॉस्ट में, क्वालिटी में, ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस में और पीस ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस में. क्यूमुलेटिवली अगर आप देखेंगे तो हमें बेहतर रहना चाहिए ताकि हम कॉम्पिटिटिव रहे और इन्वेस्टमेंट अट्रैक्ट करते रहे. और जयेश ने जो कहा, एक सबसे बड़ी बैरोमीटर ये है कोई भी स्टेट के लिए कि उनके पॉलिसीज, उनकी, जैसा अभी मैंने 4 चीज जो गिनाया, कॉस्ट ऑफ डूइंग, ईज ऑफ डूइंग, क्वालिटी ऑफ डूइंग, ये सही रास्ते में है कि नहीं, इसको परखने के लिए वहां की जो एग्जिस्टिंग इन्वेस्टर हैं, वहां के जो एग्जिस्टिंग इन्वेस्टर हैं, वो अगर रिपीट इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हैं तो सबसे बड़ी कॉम्प्लीमेंट हमारे लिए वही है. क्योंकि चीफ मिनिस्टर हमारे केसीआर जी कहते हैं कि योर बिगेस्ट ब्रांड एम्बेसडर इज योर एग्जिस्टिंग इन्वेस्टर. अगर वो खुश हैं तो 10 और लोगों को बोलेंगे वो जरूर. इनफैक्ट आई एम प्राउड टू शेयर विथ यू, लाइक जयेश just mentioned, more than 24% of our investments into the state of Telangana in the last 8 years are repeat investments, are expansions and repetitions. Now that is a remarkable number. It's a remarkable number because in today's world where we live in a very competitive environment, and also to juxtapose the fact that people were talking about flight of capital from Telangana when the state was formed, to ensure that 24% of your investments are repeat is no mean feat. The other thing I'd tell you quickly, which again was mentioned by Bhaskar Reddy Garu, the district industrial centers, DICs as we call them, in all districts are functional, are active. In fact, we also have facilitation councils in each district which work with the small, medium, micro entrepreneurs, and we do a lot of work with them. When it comes to industrialization, you're absolutely right, Bhaskar Reddy Garu, that most of the investment is coming to Hyderabad and its surroundings. एक तरफ से अगर आप देखेंगे तो हैदराबाद हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ी स्ट्रेंथ है. कभी का एक बार ऐसा भी लगता है कि हमारे लिए थोड़ा वीकनेस भी है, क्योंकि हैदराबाद इतना सेंट्रल है जियोग्राफिकली तेलंगाना में. कोई भी कोना, तेलंगाना का कोई भी कॉर्नर, यू कैन रीच विद इन 3 to 3.5 hours. सो क्या होता है, जब मैं भास्कर रेड्डी जी से या यहाँ के FTCCI मेंबर से अगर कहता हूँ कि आप इन्वेस्ट कीजिए हमारे आदिलाबाद में, या आप इन्वेस्ट कीजिए हमारे कोत्तागुड़म में, या गदवाल में, या वनपर्ती में, आप ही लोग वापस आके मुझसे कहेंगे सर थोड़ा मुश्किल है क्योंकि हमारे मिडिल मैनेजर जो है वो जाना नहीं चाह रहे हैं. हैदराबाद इतना अच्छा शहर है, इतना अच्छा मतलब यहाँ का सोशल इंफ्रा है, तो वहाँ जाना मुश्किल है. टिपिकली दैट इज द रिस्पॉन्स वी गेट. बट देर आर सेक्टर्स ऑफ कोर्स which can definitely be used in terms of decentralization of industrial activity, because I think it's important. Decentralization is extremely important, and decentralization is the only way we can ensure that Hyderabad continues to remain attractive, continues to remain decongested here, and continues to grow and be the economic backbone for Telangana. We have Warangal, which is the second largest town in Telangana. In fact, I'm happy to share with you that several IT companies have made a choice of moving to Warangal and starting centers in Warangal. Cyient, Tech Mahindra, Genpact, Mindtree Consulting, and several others. In fact, some local companies like Softpath, Quadrant, all of these companies are setting up a significant base in Warangal. We are talking to many others who will also, hopefully, make the announcements soon. We've also, in fact, as a government, have not only set up a T-Hub in Hyderabad. T-Hub is the world's largest incubator. We are all proud of it. And in fact, I've asked Jayesh to take the entire team of FTCCI once so that we can actually host you there, show you there, and also make sure that we work in tandem to explore synergies, understand how we can do things better, how we can innovate better. We have not only created a T-Hub in Hyderabad, we also have created plug-and-play infrastructures in about 5 different Tier 2 towns in Telangana. Nalgonda, Khammam, Mehboob Nagar, Nizamabad, Warangal, of course, and Karimnagar. These are the places where we've already created buildings with more than 50,000 square foot of space. Each of these buildings is full. And trust me, in Khammam we are already expanding. We are adding another 75,000 square feet. All of these are IT hubs where you have IT companies, small and medium, and also where you have the task center, we have a T-Hub regional center for skilling and for innovation also. We want to expand, we want to continue to grow. We've recently had some good success in taking a company called NTT Datacom to Adilabad. We also want to take more and more companies to even Mancherial, Ramgundam, Suryapet, and other places as well, Vanparthi and other places as well. I urge you to work with us in ensuring that decentralization happens. It's important for the state, it's important for the nation as well. But what is going to be a credible business opportunity for those of you who are in manufacturing is, as you all know, Government of Telangana has completed the world's largest lift irrigation project, Kaleshwaram, in the shortest span of 4 years. The world's largest project being completed by the youngest state in India in the shortest possible time is again a no mean achievement. It is something that we are truly proud of. Kaleshwaram has created 45 lakh acres of irrigation, and now with Palamuru Rangareddy lift irrigation and Sitarama lift irrigation, we will be, hopefully in the next 1.5 years, you will see blossoming as it is, you're already witnessing it. You'll see 5 revolutions unfolding right in front of your eyes. Of course, the green revolution in Telangana, with agricultural exports and agricultural produce, in fact, going through the roof. And इतना ज़्यादा हमारा agriculture production हो गया, especially paddy में, कि Food Corporation of India ने भी हाथ उठा लिया, बोला कि हम नहीं खरीद पाएंगे आपसे. इतना ज़्यादा हो गया output यहाँ की. और green revolution हमारे आंखों के सामने. It is unfolding right in front of our eyes. The second revolution that is unfolding right in front of our eyes is inland fisheries. With Mission Kakatiya, the 46,000 lakes and tanks in the state of Telangana have been rejuvenated. And today Telangana is the #1 state in inland fisheries in the country. This is not my report. This is the report of Government of India. We are the #1 state in inland fisheries. There is that blue revolution that comes with fisheries. Now, we have plans to set up aqua hubs across different reservoirs that have been built. For instance, in my district, in Sirsila, we have built a beautiful 26 TMC reservoir. For those of you who are not familiar with TMCs, Hussain Sagar, जो हमारी टैंक बंड है, वो 1 TMC है. 26 times that we have created in my district. 50 times that we have created Mallanna Sagar, very close to Hyderabad again, in Dubak. Konda Puchama Sagar is 15 TMC. So we have created nearly 164 TMCs of reservoir capacity from in between Medigadda, which is in Godavari, from there till Konda Puchama Sagar, which is in Gajwel. All of these have become now beehives of activity, not just for irrigation, drinking water, but for inland fisheries as well. So those of you who are interested in aqua, certainly many opportunities to set up industries in this space. And that is the blue revolution, the second revolution. The third revolution that's unfolding right in front of your eyes again is the dairy revolution, the white revolution, milk revolution. Telangana government again has been giving a subsidy of 4 rupees per litre to all dairy farmers to encourage dairy as an activity, as a supplement to augment your income which that you generate through agri, to improve rural livelihoods. As a result, our Vijaya Dairy, which was a loss-making corporation of the state, today is giving a dividend back to the state government. And a white revolution is also unfolding right in front of our eyes. The fourth revolution is because of this initiative of Government of Telangana to improve livelihood opportunities for the Yadavas, the sheep grazing community in Telangana. Our sheep number has more than doubled. Again, this is not my statistic. It is the union government statistic. As a result, meat processing industry, which is otherwise also known as pink revolution, also has a huge scope. And again, a lot of meat that is produced here can be exported to the rest of the country and rest of the world as well. So meat processing industry is the fourth sector. Pink revolution is what it is called. And the fifth revolution, that's again unfolding right in front of our eyes. We were dependent on other countries for edible oils. But now with government of Telangana's focus on oil palm cultivation, we have an ambitious target of wanting to bring more than 20 lakh acres under cultivation for oil palm over the next 5 years. Our target for this year is about 5 lakh acres. And when the oil palm, starts producing results, and when we can generate edible oil, palm oil, from this cultivation, that is called yellow revolution. So 5 revolutions that I just talked about: green, blue, white, pink, and yellow. All these 5 revolutions are unfolding right in front of our eyes, and that gives you the opportunity to set up industries in food processing sector across the length and breadth of Telangana. That is where I urge FTCCI, and I met with some very young entrepreneurs also. I urge those youngsters, and I urge companies like Dadu's to also start thinking about setting food processing units across the state of Telangana. And I'm happy to share with you that we've already gathered 10,000 acres of land, which is readily available for consumption of industry, and we are calling them the Telangana State Special Food Processing Zones. Like how you have SEZs, we are creating special food processing zones where you will be given not only land, but also other incentives to set up food processing industries in the rural hinterland of Telangana. And that goes back to what Bhaskar Reddy Garu was saying. He was saying he himself is a product of Kamareddy Dairy College, right? So there is a huge opportunity for anybody who's in the food sector to start thinking big, to start planning big, and to start coming out with bigger ideas. If you need more details, of course, my friend Jayesh Ranjan is right here. Now, on the point about industrial incentives, I'm completely in agreement with you, Bhaskar Reddy Garu. In fact, we have gotten significant budget allocated in this year's budget for industrial incentives. Unfortunately, for the last couple of years, but for COVID, we would have been almost on par, in terms of our delivery of incentives. But this year, I assure you, we'll make it more structured, we'll make it more eventful for all of you, especially the MSMEs. I completely agree with you, sir. The MSMEs are the guys who actually need our support. We'll definitely ensure that they are given the priority. The last one that he mentioned was about strengthening the Chamber of Commerce. What happened in Dubai, your experience in Dubai, etc. I'm a firm believer that, being a federation, being a chamber, definitely will help you in resolving a lot of issues. Normally भी आप आके मिल सकते हैं, आप कोई chamber में हो या ना हो, आप कोई association में हो या ना हो. But when you come and meet, it will be looked at as somebody coming to meet me. I mean, when you come to meet the government, as somebody with a vested interest coming in and pitching their own agenda. But when a chamber comes forward, when an association comes forward and pleads on behalf of the industry, it is a multi-stakeholder kind of an engagement, representing the cause of the entire industry and not one particular company. So therefore, I urge all of you to spread the word, and whatever we can do from the government, maybe not mandating thoda shayad zyada ho jayega, but otherwise, I think we can definitely urge, we can definitely implore that all the new entrepreneurs should join the Chamber of Commerce and should definitely, become more and more actively engaged. I'm sure out of the 30,000 plus that you have, sir, not many of them are active. I'm very confident. उसमें शायद 10% लोग शायद एक्टिव रहेंगे, बाकी लोग पैसिव रहेंगे. तो मैं तो ये कहता हूँ कि आप उनको भी एक्टिव करो. Please activate them also. Engage with them more. And definitely, the power of collective is always greater than singular. So most certainly, I think it's important that you guys work together, talk to the government more often. And like you pointed out, I think what's more important, is that the government listens and the government responds when you have a challenge. Now, I don't think, every time I meet an entrepreneur from the north of India, Delhi में, Bombay में, कहीं और, वो लोग बस यही कहते हैं कि कोविड के टाइम जो आपके गवर्नमेंट ने किया, इतना इजी बना दिया हमारे लिए passes या to run our industry. No state in the country has done that kind of, out of the way support, and I thank Jayesh Ranjan and my entire team for that, because I think the credit goes to my team, led by Jayesh Ranjan, who have been extremely agile, क्योंकि कोविड हम सबके लिए हैरान की बात थी, क्योंकि दुनिया में हमने कभी ऐसा देखा ही नहीं था. तो जब कोविड आई, all of us were taken by surprise, but I think how swiftly we reacted, how ably we reacted, and how we were able to hold your hand and walk you through the vagaries of the lockdowns, etc., is what's very, very important. So once again, without taking too much of your time, I congratulate all the award winners. I thank the jury for choosing very, very wisely, and I thank all the members of FTCCI for joining us, and I thank the office bearers of FTCCI for inviting me. Jai Telangana, Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, our Honourable Minister, for enlightening us and empowering all of us here today and motivating us always. And yes, Jai Telangana to that. Ladies and gentlemen, I now request Shri Meela Jaydev, Vice President FTCCI, to please step forward to felicitate our Chief Guest and Guest of Honour. Shri Meela Jaydev, Vice President FTCCI, will now felicitate our Chief Guest.